All right. So I guess this is gonna be the first video on this channel. Um, I doubt really anybody's gonna be interested in this, but I made it mostly for myself since I need a place to put my thoughts, and I can't bring myself to write them down anymore. Um, there's a lot of things going around in my head for quite a while, and I've tried before to think. I've done that for quite a while, and then recently I've tried to avoid just thinking altogether about really anything that presses on my mind. But I can't really do that anymore, and I've ended up subconsciously, I feel, um, pushing away my own thoughts by just doing anything fun and avoiding sitting with myself. And I don't think that's good for me anymore. And it really sucks when I'm all alone and I have to sit with myself. So I thought I'd document what I'm thinking about. I guess that might make make me feel better. I'm not too sure. And if you do stumble upon this video and you find it helps you, or gives you perspective, you know if I can if my thoughts can help at least one other person, I'm happy. I feel like since this is the first video on here, I don't think it's necessary, or I don't think I can really get into everything, especially the longer stories, the longer, more complicated things that have been bothering me, or staying on my mind. Um, but I feel like I'll just go into my general mindset these past few months, and we'll go from there. I don't know how often I'll record. Whenever I finally give myself space to breathe and stop distracting myself, I end up thinking about things, and I guess that those can be moments. Um, Without going into the backstory or anything, I just, recently I've been feeling lost, and I feel like, I wouldn't say failure, since that's very cliche. Everyone says they feel like a failure. I don't feel like a failure. I feel like I'm wasting away, or at least wasting the privileges I do have. Very often I see people in bad situations, horrible situations, and they make the best of it, and they push through no matter what. And I feel like I'm just wasting my privilege, where I do get help from people close to me, and I just seem to turn it away in favor of just hurting myself psychologically further. Because I feel like there's two ways of hurting yourself, right? You can hurt yourself physically, when when you feel bad or depressed or whatever, by cutting yourself or whatever, which uh, I've never done. Um, and there's hurting yourself mentally, putting yourself into spirals and bad thoughts, just letting those things consume you. Oh, and I feel like I've been doing the mental thing for quite a bit. I just feel like for a while, I can't talk to people anymore about these things. And it seems weird since there's supportive people around me. There's, I can speak to my friends, I can speak to my family. It's just, I don't know. I don't know if it, I feel like even though people say they won't judge you and they say that they'll help you through, I still don't want to put them through things. People enjoy being happy more than, tending to someone who has problems they could fix themselves. And even though I've been on the receiving end and I've had people close to me in problems and I've been there for them, uh, I don't know. I feel like I can't put people through what I'm going through. I mean, maybe I'll tell them once, but I feel like telling them more than once and then, taking their advice, I feel like I don't want to press people, I don't want to continue coming to them as if they're my therapist or something. And therapy, I've talking about therapists, I've been to therapy before and it helped, but I can't make that sort of commitment anymore. I feel like I can't, get myself to go and gather my thoughts enough for someone and take their advice. Why? I'm not too sure. It feels like it's a lot of work, and even though it probably would work, I don't want to do it again. I want to do something else. I've been through these motions before. I've told people, I've went to therapy, and all of those worked to a point, and then I'm back down where I was, uh, due to unforeseen circumstances that again I just won't get into right now. Maybe I'll do a video at one point where I just go into the whole timeline of what I think is going on, but I don't want to think about it right now. So I'll just, again, tell you how I'm feeling. So I just feel like this is probably the right option for me, or the best option that I could probably get into, to just talk. Again, I've been on the receiving end, and I know I probably won't be a burden, but I just don't want to be a burden. Even though people say that, and even though I've had people and I've told them that you aren't a burden and you won't be a burden, and I'm glad to be here for you. I just, I feel like people can have a more enjoyable life if they don't know what's going on with me, and they don't, then feel the need to put themselves out for me, whether they like it or, whether they don't, and say like, hey, I'll be there for you, dude. I'll, if you want to talk about it, if they don't know about it, then, they have nothing to worry about. And I think that's ideal for them, as long as I can find a way to get through this, by myself. Yeah, I don't know. Again, I feel like I'm in a willing pit. Like I put myself here. I put myself in the hole I'm in, and I could do better. But I feel like I'm out of energy and I can't do anything else. I know that seems like a pathetic thing or like a loser thing to say, that you just give up. But I feel like for the moment I can't do anything else but give up. I for the moment I feel like I can just stay where I am and just not take the help. And that makes me feel a bit worse too, and just how probably it would have felt normally, because again I have all these methods of support around me. I have a privilege that a lot of people don't. I have I have help available, and I choose not to take it because I just feel drained, and I feel like I probably should be able to try harder. I probably should try harder to get out of here and not, waste the potential I have, that a lot of people, would like to have. And a lot of people get through shit without, having all this privilege. And then here I am wasting it, people around me. I have a, place to stay. I have, all sorts of stuff, and I'm ignoring it, and it makes me feel worse. And yeah, again, I'll keep this video as you know vague out there, because I can get into specifics later if in other videos, if I, whenever I gather my thoughts enough to think about something. And probably keep the videos in this rambling format. I don't feel like it's, you know talking about stuff like this, if it would help for me to have a script. I don't think it would, because I feel like the most important way to do it would be to, just say words as they come into my head, so it can be as authentic, so I can be as authentic as I can to myself. Um, but I delay my sleep too. That's I don't think that's good. I can get into that again some other time, but you know, it's a horrible feeling when you're there in bed and you can't go to sleep, because you just, if you do try to go to sleep, you'll inevitably have to fight through like a flurry of thoughts of really horrible things they don't want to think about, the past, think about the future, in bad ways. And I know that happens to a lot of people, but for me, in the mindset that I'm in right now, I feel like it's exclusively about just bad things. Some people just, I remember thinking just like, oh, what I'll do tomorrow or whatever, and obviously you just have to get through those thoughts and go to sleep. But it's much worse when those thoughts are things which you really don't want to think about at that moment. So that's one option. The other option is to put in some background noise that's distracting enough to get you to fall asleep, which for me would be putting on a YouTube video or whatever, which, then will put me into some, bad sleep, interrupted sleep, falling asleep. I don't know if it's the same for everyone, but falling asleep to a YouTube video doesn't really put me in the best of sleep. And then the third option is just stay awake till I'm completely, utterly exhausted and I can lay in bed and fall asleep as quick as possible. And that's the option I usually pick, and that kind of fucks my sleep schedule quite a bit. Sucks. At least, I'm not in high school anymore. I don't have to always wake up early. I'm in college, so a lot of times I can make do, more or less. But it's not healthy for me, and I definitely feel the effects of a unhealthy sleep. That would be much better if I would go to sleep earlier, but I can't, because I need to tire myself out. I need to get really exhausted, and that ends up happening only at about 4 or 5 a.m. at least, and then I'm tired enough, and that makes me wake up in the afternoon, and that continues the circle. And even if I do try to fix it and I manage to fix a few days, going to sleep a few days in a row earlier, I somehow always end up falling asleep in the end at those hours. I don't really know why, but I do. It's not really fun, but again, I don't, any other option seems like it would expend too much energy, and the most energy I have right now is to keep the apartment clean, uh you know try to hang out with friends for the sake of keeping relationships active and not going off the radio, and going to college when the time comes, um since right now it's there's a break, um and I just feel like I don't have the energy for much of anything else, and it sucks. I don't like it. I wish I had, but I can't push myself to do anything more for myself, and I hate myself for it, and that just puts me in a deeper and deeper spiral of, hating myself for what I'm doing, and then hating myself even more for not doing anything about what I'm doing. And it sucks. And I know I didn't make this channel to, just vent, and I hope I don't sound like I'm victimizing, or, victim, just putting myself like, oh, look, I'm such a bad person, look at me, cry for me, because I don't feel like that's really what I want to. I don't want people to feel sorry for me. I want to put my experience out there, and if it helps someone, I'm happy for it. I just want to put myself out there that way, and just talk about things that happened to me, and maybe somebody relates. And if not, at the end of the day, I need to speak about this. I need to, make my thoughts physical in a way. I need to visualize my thoughts more than just thinking about them. I need to have them out there. Everything that I'm thinking about and everything that I'm going through. I feel like that's healthy for me. Or, at least this is the only thing I feel capable of doing right now. And hopefully it helps. This is, I don't feel like I can talk to really, I can't bring myself to talk to this about to anyone, or, do anything else other than just speak to a camera. If you did watch this video though, if you did stick around, I'm really happy. Again, if it did help you, or at least give you some sort of perspective, I'm really happy. I'm really glad. And I think I'll end it here. I'll make more videos, as I said, when my thoughts get a bit more collected about sort of things, and I guess I can do videos based on certain topics or stories of things that happened to me, and get more specific. This is more of a vague, I guess, video to delve into the main idea of where I am, and I hope I can bring myself to make more of these sooner rather than later. Yeah, that's about it for now.